This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 2nd day of November in the year 2021. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. Guyana's President Irfan Ali addressed the UN Climate Change Summit this morning in Scotland and called out the developed countries that have not honored their pledge of $100 billion to support action that would mitigate the effects of climate change and address many of the issues related to climate change.
Dishonored pledges are a recipe for disaster. Third, forests constitute a powerful arsenal in the fight against climate change. Forest-rich countries must be provided with the incentives necessary to keep their forests intact and to reduce deforestation and forest degradation. Mindful that deforestation contributes 16% to annual global emissions, and in recognition of the ecosystem and climate services provided by forests, it is imperative that we finalize the rules for carbon markets and REDD+, so as to properly value tropical forests and the climate services which they provide.
The president also spoke about the efforts of Guyana over the years to do its part to address the challenges and the effects of climate change. President Ali said Guyana will continue to do its part.
We'll maintain our forests, almost the size of England and Scotland combined, storing 20 gigatons of carbon as a global asset. We'll work with local communities in conserving, protecting, and sustainably managing our forests, biodiversity, and freshwater supplies. We'll decouple economic growth and emissions through a progressively cleaner energy mix with the aim of reducing our carbon emissions by 70% by 2030. We'll invest in low-carbon opportunities for jobs, ecosystem services, social inclusion through an expanded low-carbon development strategy.
Guyana is supporting the position of CARICOM and other regional organizations at the climate change meeting. Regional governments are calling for the more developed countries to do more to protect smaller and vulnerable countries from the effects of climate change. Many countries in the Caribbean have already been facing some of the issues.
We are at a historic moment in our civilization. History must not judge us as having only counted our losses. It must instead herald our effort to confront one of our planet's greatest threats, climate change. In this regard, Guyana is prepared to work with the international community for collective action. We support the position of CARICOM and are aligned with the Alliance for Small Island States, AOSIS, the Community of Latin America and Caribbean States, CELAC, the Letitia Pact, the Dhaka-Glasgow Declaration, and the Glasgow Leaders Declaration on Forests and Land Use, among others.
And the president noted that although Guyana recently became an oil-producing nation, the country supports the removal of subsidies from fossil fuel production and advocates for a strong global carbon price. Mr. Ali told the world leaders that the fate of civilization resides in the decisions that are made at the ongoing conference, noting that the climate crisis has issued an ultimatum and its either leaders take immediate and drastic action or allow themselves to be subjected to a global disaster. While at the global conference, the president has also been meeting with other world leaders and global leaders on climate change. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100.
Mobil Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobil Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc.
Let GBTI make your dreams of owning a home a reality. Buy or build your home with us. Let us help you to completely outfit your home and make it move-in ready. Need to purchase land? We finance that too. Benefit from our 10% down payment and interest rates as low as 4.25%. Calculated on the reducing balance with up to 30 years to repay. Switch your mortgage to us and learn about benefiting from the equity in your home. Invest wisely. Apply online or call your branch to schedule an appointment. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
Welcome back. On the heels of the Guyana Police Force hosting a symposium on integrity in the force, former chairman of the Police Service Commission, retired Assistant Commissioner Paul Slow, has issued a call on the government to bring an end to what he called its interference in the Guyana Police Force. He said that interference is unprecedented. In a post on his Facebook page, Mr. Slow also called on the government to discontinue what he called the weaponization of the police force, which he said is now being used to go after perceived non-supporters. While he was still chairman of the Police Service Commission, Mr. Slow complained of the president contacting him about the promotion of specific officers in the force. He also complained about the Home Affairs Minister interfering directly in the operations of the police force. Slow has since found himself facing fraud and other charges in the local courts. He has denied the charges and believes he's being targeted. In his Facebook post, Mr. Slow also said the Minister of Home Affairs must stay out of operational matters in the police force. And those matters, he said, are the sole preserve of the Commissioner of Police. Slow, who served the Guyana Police Force for over 35 years, also called on the police force to stop encouraging the undermining of the acting commissioner.
Well, it's a massive issue because once the police are not allowed to function in the manner they are expected to function, once there's political interference, then everything that is done is viewed as being political. And not, well, of course, the perception is there, and sometimes perception is reality. Is that almost every decision that is taken now by the police, whether it's to charge, whether it's to release forces, people view it as interference. It might not always be so, but that is the perception. And I'm saying, and I've said in the article, in order to get rid of that, government has to stay out. The minister and these forces have to stay out of the operational issues of policing.
Mr. Slow said when decisions are made by the commissioner that do not find favor with some of his senior subordinates, government officials, including the Home Affairs Minister, are approached and decisions are overturned. He said there was a promotion of ranks by an assistant commissioner with no lawful authority, while the acting commissioner was briefly out of the jurisdiction. He said when the promotions were reversed on the return of the acting commissioner, government officials were approached and the promotions were reinstituted. The former Police Service Commission chairman said a professional Guyana police force would require ethical leadership, and that is something which he said is sadly lacking at this time.
You have police officers who during the past, since the government came into the power in August of last year, you have police officers, good police officers who have been sent sidelined. They have been sent to COVID unit. They're sent to the emergency area. And that is what I'm referring to, people being sidelined for no other reason than maybe they feel that they are not supportive of the government. You can't have that. You cannot have that. You have to have the competent people in the senior positions so that the force can function properly.
This afternoon, Mr. Slow told news sources all that he has said could be verified since the information is factual and the evidence exists to back up his statements. He said he has nothing against the police force, but he believes it is time that more persons start to speak out on the myriad of problems in the force.
I will respond by saying I continue to say that I have no problem with the police force. I served the police force for a long time, and I am grateful to the police force for the exposure I've had. The issue is, and I've pointed that out very often, has to do with some bad actors in the police force, and I highlighted some of the issues that I am concerned about. So it's not about sour grape. I think it's about time that people speak out, and perhaps I'm the force to do so publicly. But I can tell you a lot of ranks currently serving and people who have retired have reached out. Even today, just a while ago, people reached out and complimented me on having the courage to expose these things. Now, these things are done so that people can see who these people are.
Slow said while there are currently lots of qualified ranks in the Guyana police force who can't provide the required leadership, those ranks are being marginalized, and some of the most unprofessional and unethical ones are holding the sway. Opposition leader Joe Harmon has issued a call for an independent body to be set up to select the next chief elections officer at the Guyana Elections Commission, pointing out that a number of the persons who have applied for the position are non-starters and ought not to be seriously considered for the job. During a press conference this afternoon, Mr. Harmon suggested that an independent panel interviews the candidates for the position and make recommendations to the Elections Commission. He said while he does not want to dictate the work of the Elections Commission, it is his hope that the Commission does the right thing and select the right person for the job.
Because I can tell you that some of the names I see there are no-no. They are definitely no-no. Some of the names I see there, I trust the Commission don't let them get past the first stage of anything.
Among the persons interested in the top GCOM job are former Chief Elections Officer Gokul Budu, former GCOM Public Relations Officer Vishnu Prasad, former Permanent Secretary in the Office of the President, who was also a candidate for the PPP in the 2015 elections, Omar Sharif, former presidential hopeful Safer Hussein, and GCOM IT Officer Anil Giddings. A number of other local and international professionals are also listed among the applicants for the top elections job.
So it's all like an internal arrangement. But the impact of what happens there affects all of us here in Guyana. So it can't just be a little, in-house business. But we'll be paying very close attention to what emerges.
A few months ago, GCOM terminated the contracts of its chief elections officer, his deputy, and the Region 4 returning officer, after the government-nominated commissioners on the commission tabled a motion to terminate those contracts. The three officials, Keith Lowenfield, Roxanne Myers, and Clement Mingo, are currently before the courts facing various charges related to misconduct in public office and allegations of fraud with regard to last year's elections. They have all denied the accusations and charges. Let's tell you now that the China State Construction Engineering Corporation has been approved by the Guyana government to build a new Demerara bridge at a cost of $256.6 million. The Ministry of Finance announced last night. Initially, 9 companies submitted bids for the construction of the new 4-lane bridge across the Demerara River. The selected company will design, build, and finance the bridge. According to the Finance Ministry, the financial terms and conditions will be no less favorable than those submitted in the company's price proposal. Though a financial breakdown of the proposal was not given, it was announced that China State Construction Engineering Corporation Limited, under the DBF model, contemplates a construction cost of $256.6 million, the lowest among all bidders. Once completed, the government is adamant that the new bridge will be a critical link that will boost economic activity across the country. The new bridge will offer easy connectivity to both the existing East Bank Demerara Road as well as a new Diamond to Ogle bypass on the eastern side of the river, and to the existing West Bank Demerara Road and the new Parika to Skunard Road on the western side of the river. The new bridge will also offer critical connectivity to the new Wills Development Authority, which will be a major center of productive activity when it comes on stream, the Finance Ministry said. Once completed, the new Demerara Bridge will boast of bridge collision protection, navigation speed expand to accommodate Handymax vessel navigation and other facilities. When completed, the new bridge will also replace the current harbor bridge, which was commissioned back in 1978. The new bridge is expected to land at Nandi Park on the east bank of the Marara and Mirzorgan or Lagrange on the west bank of the Marara, and should be completed in 2 to 3 years. Still with infrastructure, the Ministry of Finance has announced that Cabinet has granted its no objection for the China Railway Group Limited to be engaged in the construction of Guyana's Amila Falls hydropower project. According to the Finance Ministry, 4 companies submitted proposals to construct and execute the project, but China Railway's build, own, operate, transfer model got the advantage. The company will provide electricity to the Guyana Power and Light Company, and the company will also provide the entire equity required by the project and undertake all the risk associated with it. In its current formulation, it is expected that the project will require no equity contribution from the government, in comparison with the previous project structure, which was based on a government contribution of $100 million. Additionally, the current structure anticipates a cost of power that will be lower than the initial cost of 11 cents per kilowatt hour contemplated by the previous project structure. Yesterday, during a press conference, the Vice President, Bara Jagdeo, made it clear that the government will not be borrowing money to finance the project, but the initiative will be undertaken by the Guyana government. As a result, he said every risk which is involved would be ones for the investors and not the government. The hydropower project has been a flagship project of the previous PP civic government, but it never got off the ground. The party had advanced preparation of the project by conducting technical and financial studies of the project, including environmental and social impact assessment. But the project was shot down by the then APNU AFC opposition, which at the time believed that the project was not feasible and was way too expensive. When the coalition took office in 2015, the project was scrapped, but it made its way back on the agenda last year with the return of the PPP to government. The government is adamant that apart from cheap and reliable energy, the project will also support initiatives such as the electrification of transport and e-mobility and to boost the ICT and manufacturing sectors. Guyanese businessman Paul Davey, known as Uncle Paul, who found himself on the police radar over the years, being questioned about various suspected offenses, has died. He reportedly passed away in Colombia, where he was being treated for post-COVID-19 ailments. Davey was diagnosed with COVID-19 weeks ago and was rushed to the COVID-19 hospital at Liliendal after experiencing breathing complications. News source understands that he remained in critical care at the hospital for several weeks. According to reports, his family made a decision to move him to a private hospital and later had him medically evacuated to Colombia as his recovery became complicated even after tests for the virus came back negative. Davey was hospitalized in Colombia in recent weeks and passed away earlier today, according to sources close to the family. Close to a decade ago, Davey was named as a person of interest in a murder case, but charges were never filed against him after he was questioned.
Farfan & Mendes is committed to promoting development through quality, service, and integrity. Customers are guaranteed genuine products, reliability, and excellence in service. Their corporate head office at Providence affords you the added convenience of a spacious showroom with secured parking. Farfan & Mendes continues to offer their valued customers a wide range of genuine and affordable German-engineered equipment. They're leading the way in clean, green alternative energy solutions with industry-leading brands of solar equipment. So visit their showroom at Providence and enjoy efficient and courteous service. Farfan & Mendes, offering you solutions you can depend on.
Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc. Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right, walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, Nicaraguan President Daniel Ortega runs for a fourth consecutive term on Sunday in an election seen in Washington as a sham that looks certain to cement his hold on power and deepen the struggling Central American country's international isolation. The Biden administration in the U.S. was preparing to ramp up sanctions to protest the one-sided vote, but it must tread carefully to avoid encouraging economic migration or a destabilizing upheaval in the second poorest country in the Americas. The increasingly authoritarian stance of Ortega has upset Washington and its allies, which see him in the same camp as the leaders of Venezuela, Cuba, and Russia. Since the last election in 2016, Ortega has abolished presidential term limits, expanded his family's business empire, and piled pressure on independent media. In recent months, he has jailed opposition contenders, activists, journalists, and business leaders. Other critics have gone into exile. Well, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in the United States has moved Jamaica down from level 4 to level 3 in its COVID-19 travel advisory to citizens. The update was made yesterday. A level 4 ranking is deemed as a country with a very high level of COVID-19, and persons should avoid travel to the destination. A level 3 country is classified as having a high level of COVID-19, and travelers are to make sure that they are fully vaccinated before travel. Unvaccinated travelers should avoid non-essential travel to those destinations. Reacting to the development, the Tourism Minister in Jamaica, Edmund Barnett, said it is welcome news and a positive development. He said he wants to commend the health authorities in Jamaica and the people of Jamaica for their work to bring down the rates of COVID-19 infections and hospitalizations in the country. The tourism minister noted that despite the CDC risk assessment, Americans by and large continue to travel to destinations that they want to visit. He also said the previous level 4 ranking caused jitters in some circles and was certainly not good optics for Jamaica. And finally tonight, international news. Officials in Ethiopia's capital have called on residents to register their weapons and get ready to protect their neighborhoods amid fears that rebels could advance to the city. The appeal came days after the Tigray People's Liberation Front said it had captured 2 other cities. The federal government in Ethiopia has declared a nationwide state of emergency. The U.S. has urged the rebels not to try to take Addis Ababa, the capital. The capital has a population of more than 5 million. War broke out a year ago in the northern Tigray region. The TPLF has since advanced into the neighboring regions of Amara and Afar. The BBC reports that thousands of people have been killed and more than 2 million have fled their homes since the conflict started. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.